Hi friends, Cathy Madeo here, back with another video. This one, an insider view into my home and my morning yoga routine. This video is sponsored by my friends at MitoQ, so thank you very much. And it will include a full practice along morning yoga class. So grab your mat and let's get started. Welcome everyone into my home. Every morning I habit stack taking MitoQ supplements with my morning yoga practice. Before I go into MitoQ, I will explain what habit stacking is. So habit stacking is when you take something that's already a habit and you pair it with something you want to create a habit in. So I wanted to create a habit in taking MitoQ because it does take a good 90 days before you start seeing results. So I paired it with something that is a non-negotiable for me that I do every day, which is my morning yoga practice. MitoQ supplements target cell health at a mitochondria level, which enhances both energy and focus. It's important to take them 30 minutes before you eat or 2 hours after, and this is why I thought it would be a good idea to habit stack them with my morning yoga practice because it's 30 minutes long. So every morning before I practice, I remember to take these. And then I get on my mat. So let's get started. Come to a cross-legged seated posture and place the backs of your hands onto your knees. Gently press them into your legs and lengthen the crown of your head upward to get a nice long spine. And we'll close down our eyes here just for a few moments to connect in. And as you close your eyes, you might hear sounds around you. Just let them be there. Notice the breath coming in and out without effort. We can begin to visualize ourselves at that cellular level. Thousands upon thousands of cells make up our body. And we can imagine them almost like a golden white light. Think of them as vital, energetic, life-enhancing cells. Just begin to feel your full body here in space as pure energy. And we'll move through our asana practice today to move that energy through our body. Set us up for a more aligned day. We'll take one more mindful breath here. And then you can gently open up your eyes. Good. And we'll just switch the cross in your legs here. And now bring your hands to the front of your shins and we'll do some seated cat-cow. So on an inhale, you'll pump your chest forward, gaze up. And exhale, you can push down into the legs gently, chin into chest. And continue on here, just waking the spine up. One more full round as you rock the pelvis forward, gaze up. And then tuck the pelvis under, gaze in. Come to a neutral spine, reach your arms up and twist over to the right. So prop your right fingertips behind you, reach the crown of your head up, you can gaze over your right shoulder. And we'll inhale, arms up and switch. So over to the left side, nice rotation through the spine. Inhale up, and you'll roll right over your legs and we'll come into a child's pose. The arms face the front of your mat. Place your forehead down. A few mindful breaths here. So you let the low back and the hips stretch. Arms. And we'll glide into our tabletop position where we'll move right into dancing lions. So shoulders and hips moving in circular motion. So in the morning, I really like to wake up all my joints first. A lot of our joints have fluid in them, synovial fluid, so we can get more mobility if we do these circular movements first thing in the morning. We'll switch directions. I also like them because this idea of, yoga and the asanas are really moving energy through our body, the prana. That's the purpose of these asanas, and I feel like these circular movements really accentuate that. Okay, we'll settle here in our tabletop. You'll inhale, right arm lifts up. Exhale, thread it through for thread the needle. So right palm faces up, walk your left hand out, tack your right hip back, and breathe. Make a tight fist with your right hand, and you'll rotate your right hand in one direction and the opposite direction. Slide your left hand underneath you. Inhale, raise the right arm up, and exhale, set it down. Inhale, left arm reaches up. Exhale, thread it through. Stretch out your right arm. And just getting a twist here through the thoracic spine. Tack your left hip back. And we'll slide the hand back, undo the arm, place your hands down. Now we'll walk the hands about a hand's distance forward, curl our toes, and lift the hips, and take a downward facing dog. And we can pedal out the feet here, bending one leg, and then the other. And switch again. And we'll just hold our downward facing dog a couple breaths. So remember to roll the upper arms away from your ears so the triceps spin in. Sit bones lift up. You can always bend your knees here. Push the floor away from you. Get a nice long spine. And we'll take some spinal waves here as we roll to come onto your tippy toes and walk your feet up towards your hands. Have your feet hips distance apart, bend your knees, and grab opposite elbows for ragdoll. Let the low back stretch here. Backs of the legs begin to stretch. Have your chest close to your thighs so we get into the fascia of the back line of your body, and you can sway a little side to side. Couple breaths. Release the hands and we'll roll up one vertebra at a time, stacking each joint as we come into our mountain pose, palms face forward, reach the crown of your head up. Bring your feet together, we'll bend the knees, inhale our arms up for our chair pose. Allow the hips to sink down, sternum lifts. Couple breaths here, finding stability through your core. Take an inhale. As you exhale, you'll release your hands down. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. We'll take a big step of our left foot back, and inhale, reach your arms up for a high crescent lunge. Couple breaths here. We'll dip the back knee and reach the arms up. We'll do that 2 more times. As slowly as you can, place your left knee down. Inhale, arms reach up for our low lunge. Take an inhale here. Exhale, we'll take our right hand to the inside of the right leg. Sweep your left shin bone around and widen the hips here for an supported side angle pose. Inhale, we'll stand up through the torso, bring your hands to the hips, and we'll glide our right knee forward and then back. So forward and back, and forward and back. This time as we come forward, we'll pivot forward, straighten your front leg for a runner's stretch. If the front leg doesn't straighten, you can of course use those yoga blocks Inhale, we'll just gently lengthen the sternum forward, and exhale, fold and flex your front right foot. Couple breaths here. Bend your front leg, crawl your hands forward. We'll step it back to plank pose. So strong plank pose here. Energize your legs and your arms. Shift to the tips of the toes. We can bring the knees down for the first one if you like. For a chaturanga, we'll bring the pelvis down for a cobra pose. So elbows are bent for your cobra pose. Work your upper back core muscles here. Curl your toes under, lift your hips. We'll move through our downward facing dog. Breathing in and out. Bottom of your next exhale, you can begin to step your feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise all the way up. Exhale, mountain pose. Bring your feet together. Arms up, bend your knees, chair pose. 2 breaths here. Yoga breaths, so long, smooth inhales and exhales. Next exhale, you'll take your fold. Inhale, halfway lift. Shift your weight to your left foot, step your right foot back. Use your inhale to rise to a high crescent lunge. Bend deeply through your front knee, pull the right heel back. We'll dip down and back up. Down and up. And this one, we're carefully placing the right knee down, undo the toes. Inhale, arms reach up. From here, we'll take our left hand to the inside of the left leg. We're spinning the right shin bone around so that the hips are opening to the side of the mat, and reach your right arm up. You can actively press your left hand into your left leg, leg into the hand to widen through the hip joint a little bit more. Inhale, we'll come up with the torso. Hands can be on hips as we shift our knee forward and rock it back. And we'll go forward and back and forward and back. And as we come forward this time, we'll place our hands down, pivot our hip joint around, and straighten the front leg for our half runner stretch. Inhale, halfway lift, and exhale, fold in. Deep breaths. Bend your front knee. Curl your back toes under. We'll step it back to a plank pose. Take an inhale. Exhale, chaturanga, knees can come down. Inhale, up dog or cobra. Up dog, nothing's on the floor but your hands and your feet. And exhale, downward facing dog. Breathing in and out. Good, one more breath in. From here, we'll come up high into our tippy toes, step to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, fold. And inhale, come all the way up. And exhale through our mountain pose. We'll shift our weight over to our right foot, bend your left leg, and just take a generous step back of your left foot. And we're coming into warrior two, starting to open up through the hip joint. So front knee is pointing forward, arms wide, hips are opening, gaze past your middle front finger. Take a couple breaths here. Next, we'll place our right forearm on the right thigh. Gently push the forearm away from the thigh. Sweep your left arm up and begin to open your chest to the side of the mat, and even spiraling it up so that your gaze comes upward. From here, we'll take this into reverse warrior. So left hand slides down the back of the leg, right arm sweeps up and over. And as we come out, we'll straighten the front leg. You can heel toe your back foot in a little bit. We'll come into our triangle pose. So lean forward through the right hand. Right hand can come to the inside of the right leg, and you can gently use it to push into the leg to widen the chest to the side. From here, we'll inhale up, pivot your front foot so that we're standing wide on our mat in star pose. and we'll turn the heels in, bend our knees for goddess stance. So trying to keep your shoulders, head stacked over your hips. Knees are widening out by using your external hip rotators. So squeeze those outer hip muscles, send the hips down. And from here, we'll just switch sides. So we'll widen the feet out a little bit, bend your left leg. So we're pointing to the back of our mat, and you are in a warrior two stance. Engage through your outer right hip as you widen the left knee out to the left. Crown of the head lifts upward. From here, left forearm comes on the left thigh, but keep a lift through the left side body, and we'll reach the right arm up and over towards the back of the mat. Palm faces down, and then take your whole chest and open it up, so maybe even the gaze comes upward. From here, we'll take reverse warrior. So you can keep the front knee bent. I know it's hard. And we'll straighten that front leg. If you want, you can heel toe your back foot in or take a little slide there like I did. You'll reach the left arm forward, working into your triangle pose. So remember, triangle pose is like a lot of lines here. So our torso lines up right over our front thigh. We'll inhale, lift up. Pivot the feet coming into a star position, and we'll take a wide leg forward fold. So from here, the hip joint can tilt forward. Send the weight towards your toe mounds. And nice and easy fold here. Hands can release down wherever they release. Few breaths here. So in my morning practice, I like to stick kind of with the foundational standing postures and some hip openers. And then later on in the day, if I revisit my practice, I might do other things, skill-based things, or certain postures I want to work on. But in the morning, I just like to energize my body, use the asanas to move that flow around, that energy around. Inhale, halfway lift. We'll turn to the front of the mat and take a big step forward of the left foot. Widen your feet apart, heels in. We'll lower the hips. We're coming into a yogi squat. And if the heels lift up, that's totally fine. If you have a block, you could sit up on a block. Just be here for a couple moments. You can press the inner knees into the backs of the arms for a moment. That will create an isometric contraction of the adductors, and then you can just release that and let the knees widen a little bit and go a little deeper into your stretch. From here, we'll place the hands down, lift the hips up, step your left foot back so your right foot is wide on your mat, and we're coming into lizard lunge. We can lower the back knee down. I like to sway a little bit side to side. If the back knee bothers you here, you can pad it with a blanket. Otherwise, you're working the pelvis down. We can come onto our forearms or stay up on your hands. If you're on your forearms, I want you to pull your chest through. So elbows right underneath shoulders. Two more breaths. We'll lift up through the hands, heel toe the right foot all the way over to the left, set up for a pigeon prep position. So you want your hip points facing forward. So if you need to slide the right heel in order to get that, that's perfectly fine. We'll take a deep inhale in and use your exhale to fold over your front leg. So you can create a little pillow with your hands, or you can reach your arms out in front of you, or maybe stay propped up, however feels good. Make sure the outer left hip is wrapping down. And just feel the energy start to ground down here. So we move closer to the floor. One more breath. We'll inhale, lift up. Curl your back toes under, widen the right foot again, big step of the left foot, and we'll switch sides here. So right foot steps behind, drop your back knee, you're in this lizard lunge position. We'll stay upright for a little bit. So we rock the hips side to side, letting the water-like quality of the hips just open up. And if you want to join me on your forearms, you can. You can also stay up on those hands. We'll pull the chest through. Couple breaths here as we get into some deep hip openers. We'll lift the hands up, heel toe the left foot on over to the right, setting up for your pigeon prep. You can also place any props underneath the hips if needed. You could also take this reclined if needed. Take a deep inhale in, and then use your exhale to fold in. And just release and soften. One of the reasons why I love that MitoQ is because it gets right into the mitochondria, right? That's why it's called MitoQ. And the mitochondria is inside every single cell, right? So if we can actually penetrate into the cells, then we're just really optimizing how to enhance our energy and focus with these supplements. Couple more breaths, just visualizing all the cells of your body radiating pure light and energy. Next, we'll inhale up. We'll take a big sweep of your right leg around, and we'll make our way down onto our backs, but using our core. So we'll keep this kind of bent knee position here. You can be on the heels of your feet, arms out, scoop your pelvis under, and we'll come down slowly into a half boat position and then to hollow body here. So we'll hold here a couple breaths. And we'll take the right knee into the chest, hover the left leg, and then switch. And switch, and this time we'll hold the right knee in and take a twist. So come onto your left hip and widen the right arm. Inhale, return onto your back, and we'll switch sides. Hug your left knee into your chest. We'll hover the right foot, release the hands for a moment, and switch. And switch. Left knee stays hugging in. You can grab the shin bone with the hands, and we'll take our twist. So flip onto your right hip, widen the chest, open, left palm faces upward. Next, inhale, we can release out of our twist. Take any little final movements you would like. We'll take a brief Shavasana here. Not too long because we want to get going for our day, but just long enough for you to feel alive and all those cells radiating pure energy. So just close down your eyes. Give yourself just a couple minutes here. Widen the legs, as wide as the mat, palms face up. Allow the chest to stay open. Take a deep inhale in through the nose. Exhale, sigh out through your mouth. And as you find your stillness here, just bring your awareness to your body at the cellular level. Feel it radiating pure energy. Feel free to stay here as long as you like. Otherwise, you can start to deepen the breath and wiggle the fingers and the toes. And on your next inhale, reach your arms up for a good morning stretch. As you exhale, you can bend your knees and roll to your right side and prop yourself up back into your seat. Okay, my friends, I hope you enjoyed this morning yoga practice. If you're interested in learning more about MitoQ and what these supplements can do for you, check the link in the description, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.